Good morning. How is everybody doing? If you're finding me for the first time, my name is Penny. Welcome to our car talk. I come here 4 to 5 days a week. My goal is to inspire you. My goal is for you to try and listen and learn one or two things. And I pray that after you've listened and learned, you can apply some of the things we are learning from some of the books I'm reading, so that way you can live a life with purpose. Paris, good morning. So I invite you guys into my personal space when I'm reading a book. In fact, that's how I teach on my page. I'm reading a book, and whatever book I'm reading, I bring it to you, because not all of you have the ability to get books the way I do. This book costed me $5, but maybe somebody in Kenya might not get this book, because maybe by the time the book gets to Kenya, is going to be very expensive. In fact, Paris, let me pin this for the page. I've not invited people to like my page. Let me do that today. So if you've not liked my page, please do that. So I share this so that way you can learn something. So get your pen and paper so you can take notes. It's always very, very important to write things down, and it will be the easy way for you to reference, or when you're looking back, if you do a journal, you know what you said to do, so you know where you are. So we are talking about budgeting our money, and the next chapter here we are talking about needs and wants. There's a difference between needs and wants. Yesterday I went to the shop to buy ground turkey to make dinner, and I saw a lunch bag that I really, for some reason, it looked nice. The lunch bag was $10, and I was looking at my lunch bag. I'm like, I need a new bag. But really, if you think about it, I don't really. Let me show you my bag. My bag is like that, right? I've had this for a year now, so I don't need another bag. But when I saw the bag, when you go out to the shop, you end up purchasing things that are wants. It's not a need, but it's a want. And that's how we are not able to save. That's how we are in the financial situations we are in, because we go out of our homes and we see things and think we have money and buy things that we are not supposed to buy, or spend our little money on things that we are not supposed to spend money on. So we are going to focus on needs first, because the needs are important. I'm actually holding my phone because I'm driving my son's car. I don't have my regular car where I put the phone down. So if you see this position, just know I'm going above and beyond just for you, and I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. So if I bought that bag and I have not paid my house, and I have not paid my electric bill, I have not paid my water bill, I have not bought food, that $10 is gone. So I have a bag and I have not paid for the things that are necessary. So to make it short, because we want to take notes, so we outline what's important, let's talk about the needs. The need number one, put it down. Number one is housing. You cannot do anything if you don't have shelter. Shelter is your need number one. Your number one priority is paying for the rent or mortgage to keep a roof over your head. Housing, put that down. Number two, utilities. Having water, power, phone, the internet, or the electric bill, or rather I said electricity, I said power, is very, very important. Once you have the house, you have to pay for the water, you have to pay for the electricity, because it gets dark at night. So the number two need is utilities. That is the order you're paying your bills. Number three, other home related expenses. If you own your home, even if you're renting, there are things that are going to come up in that house that you must fix. Any obligations related to your home, like property taxes, insurance, they come in. You have to pay homeowner insurance. You have to make sure that your home is covered. If something breaks in that house, the air conditioner breaks in that house, your gas, something breaks in that, your wash and dryer, for us who live in countries where we have a wash and dryer. Number 3 necessity, or rather a need, is home related expenses. This is before you buy your luxurious clothes, your Louis Vuitton, your Michael Kors, before you buy all those things that you have. And I'm speaking to Penina. I'm not speaking to you. I am personally speaking to myself, because I have a lot of things that I don't need, but I think I want. Okay? Number 4, things you need to get to work. Number 4, things you need to get to work. Anything connected to keeping your job and running your business, car payment, childcare, gas, they come next in the list. Yesterday, I did not come on live at 9 because yesterday I was shopping for my shop in Kenya. My sister Margaret is always very kind. I was like on video, like during the lunch break, she was at a place called Kariako. That is where I get all my merchandise. She was at the shop. So she was sending me pictures back and forth. Money that I put on my business is a necessity. It is not a luxury, because that money is going to produce a car that you drive to work. Anything that is work related, anything that helps you to produce is a necessity. Okay? So always remember that. Number 5, minimum loan payments. Avoid expensive late fees. If you borrow money, give the money back. Okay? Avoid paying interest. If you have a credit card, for those of us who live in countries where we are given credit cards, if you have a credit card, look at your interest. How much money are you giving someone who their money is working for them while you're sleeping? Doro, how are you? How much are you paying? How much interest are you paying on your credit card? If you have a loan, a car loan, how much are you paying for that car that you borrow the interest every month? All these things are needs. They are not wants. Okay? So look at all those 5 things and write them down and review them. All right? And then spend less than you make. That is just a point that we've said over and over, and most of us don't do that. Spend less than you make. Now, there is cultural spending. And when I talk about cultural spending, let me tell you what I mean by cultural spending. Your culture. The culture, who you are, dictates how you spend your money. I see in America, a lot of African Americans love sneakers. They wear sneakers that cost $200. Some wear sneakers that cost $300. They like Michael Kors. They like Fendi. They like Louis Vuitton. I see them into like brand name things. It's a kind of mindset or culture that is here. And I want you to know, Michael Kors is Penny Ongwenyi. Louis Vuitton is Dorothy Ogega. Tommy Hilfiger is someone. Calvin Klein is someone. All the name brands that you wear is people who started something. And you'll be so surprised. Maybe they don't even wear their brands as much as you're wearing them. Or they don't have as many as you have them. Because you know what? You're spending so much money buying Penny Ongwenyi, buying Michael Kors, buying Coach. You're buying somebody's brand. So when you're buying somebody's brand, you're spending more money than you make. So ask yourself, when you buy your Louis Vuitton, when you buy your Kate Spade, when you're buying all these name brand things, ask yourself, who's buying you? What are you producing that people are buying from you? Then, another culture for the Africans, we have, in Kenya, we have something called Harambee. Harambee is when somebody dies, we come together and we raise money for dead people. something that, oh my goodness, as much as it's nice, if you're like me who knows so many people, in a week you can part with at least not less than $300. If you know so many people, the culture that we have, once somebody dies and they have my number, they put me in their group because they've lost a father, they've lost a mother. So think about it. I'm 50 years old. When I'm 50 years old, how many friends of mine are losing their parents? So when they lose their father, their mother, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to send them $100. That tradition or that culture of us doing what we call harambe can leave you broke because you've not paid for your shelter. You're using a credit card. You owe because of that culture where you're giving people money because they lost somebody. So before you give that money, make sure you've paid for all the other bills you need to pay. Yes, if you really have to help them, instead of giving them $100, give them $20. Be true to yourself. Tell them you're on a budget. Tell your friend that I'm on a budget. You might even help that friend of yours change the way they spend their money. Tell them that, Doro, you know, I'm on a budget because, you know, I have kids in college. I have to pay for my house. I have to pay for my car, my credit card. And Doro, I'm going to give you $20. Tell Doro that. She's going to appreciate that. So that's the culture of giving, people. We are helping people when you've not really helped yourself, when you're living on loans. Make sure you meet your needs first, because if you're homeless, you're not going to be able to contribute to that harambe. And then there is this other thing where it's called spontaneous shopping. Like, I just go somewhere and I just buy things I didn't even plan. Or I just get up and just have a trip. I have a trip that I didn't even plan. Now, for an average American, they say that they owe a lot of money in debt because they are spontaneous. They just think, oh, you know what, let me just do this, and you spend your money. Before you spend your money on something that is going to make you feel good, ask yourself, was it worth it? When I go to the thrift store, thrifting is a hobby. Thrifting means you go to a shop that's the second-hand clothes. I meet a lot of white Americans in the thrift store. And a lot of them, either they are consuming, you know, they consume, but at the same time, some of them have a hobby where they resell the things. So they're there for business. And when you strike a conversation with an average white American here in this country, they have a blessing from their parents that they were taught how to manage their money. They're in the thrift store trying to get bargains. They are wearing the same clothes. And they're saying, you know, they need to buy this house down the shore. There's the kind of mindset they have that was passed on by the parents that they want to carry on. I know they have their other habits that, you know, they waste their money, but I'm just saying generally, that culture where they're spending their money on maybe used stuff or antique stuff, and they end up having so many of them in their house. When you get to know them, they are full of like antique things in their homes. Those are not needs, those are wants. And that's what I see. I was trying to categorize the cultures that I see where people are doing something so obsessively and they are not needs, they are wants. They have these antique things that cost so much money and they're just keeping it because that's what they know. So find those cultural things that you're doing that's taking your money away, which is, they are not needs, they are wants. If I knew what I knew now, I would not be on somebody's payroll. I did not manage my money the way I was supposed to manage my money. I was just so busy confusing, you know, helping and being stupid. And I'm teaching my children. I taught my children to help people. But unfortunately, like 2-3 years ago, I realized that people were like sending my kids left, right, telling them do this, because I taught them that, you know, you need to help people. But I taught them the wrong way, because you know what, you need to be able to say no. When your friend wants $10 every 2 weeks and you work in the same place, you need to tell them, no, you don't have $10. So I'm learning to help the right way. You can help somebody, but help somebody the right way. Don't miss to pay your mortgage, to pay your car, to pay your house, to pay your bills to help somebody. You're not being fair. Because when it's all said and done, you're the only one who knows your truth, how much money you have and how much, you know, you've put aside for you, for your savings, for your rainy day. When people ask for help, to them, you look like you have it together. You can't blame the people who come to you. But if you redirect them, maybe you're going to help them so they can also start making their own money. Because, you know, we help and at the same time we disable people because we are giving them too much of what we have worked for. We all get the same time. It's how you use your time. And avoid hanging out with people who are not productive, people who are not going to teach you a skill or two. Because you know what? If you spend time with people who are always gossiping, you're going to gossip. If you spend time with people who are idling, you're going to idle. Try to change your friends as often as you change your clothes. Same friends are not going to take you anywhere. You have to outgrow your friends every few years, actually, if not 6 months. Because you know what? Everywhere you go, you're meeting new people. Add into your new friend list. And the other friends, look back. Don't forget where you're coming from. But focus so you can learn more things. So you can add value. Because you know what? You are a stock option. You have to be a valuable person where people are looking up to you to ask you, how did you get there? You cannot get somewhere if you are not trying to be a better person. Today I wanted to call out. I just did not feel like coming to work. I wanted to stay home and do nothing. But I talked to myself and I said, you know what, you need to go to work because you don't want to spend your time sleeping in the house. What are you going to do? And I'm here. And I'm glad I came. And I'm glad that I took time to talk to you. Thanks for listening. I hope you learned something. I hope you're going to apply 1 or 2 things that you had today that is going to give you a life with purpose. And you're going to do things that are going to add value to your life. Cheers and thanks for listening. Please like my page and do me one favor, share this video. Let's all learn together.